For thousands of years, India's history has been written, not just by kings, but by gods. Every great ruler, every ancient empire, traced its lineage to something more than human, a divine bloodline that began in the heavens. Two names echo through this mythic ancestry: Surya Vamsha, the solar dynasty, and Chandra Vamsha, the lunar dynasty. One claimed descent from the sun god himself, Surya, bright, righteous, destined to rule. The other, from the moon god, Chandra, wise, emotional, and complex. But here's the real question. What if these weren't just legends? What if these two dynasties, born from the gods themselves, never truly disappeared? And what if, even today, their descendants walk among us? Let's start from the beginning, the dawn of the solar dynasty. According to ancient texts, the Surya Vamsha began with Vivasvata Manu, the man who survived the Great Flood, the same flood that many cultures remember as Noah's Ark. Manu's son, Ikshvaku, founded the kingdom of Ayodhya, a name that still carries divine weight today. From Ikshvaku's line came some of the greatest kings of Indian mythology. Harishchandra, known for his truth and sacrifice. Sagara, whose sons dug the oceans. Bhagirath, who brought the river Ganga down from heaven. And of course, the most revered of them all, Lord Rama, the seventh avatar of Vishnu. Yes, Lord Rama was a king of the Surya Vamsha. That means Ayodhya was not just a capital. It was the seat of a divine dynasty, said to be born from the very energy of the sun. The solar kings ruled for millennia, from the Treta Yuga through the Dvapara Yuga, until their lines slowly faded from the pages of history. But some researchers and genealogists believe it never ended. Records from the Puranas and the Mahabharata contain hundreds of names in direct succession, a literal list of kings from Manu to Rama to Brihadbala, who is said to have fought and died in the Mahabharata war. That means the bloodline of Rama survived for generations after his era. Even more intriguing, many Rajput clans of northern India, especially from regions like Muir and Jaipur, have long claimed descent from the Ikshvaku line. In fact, the royal family of Jaipur still uses the title Suryavanshi Rajput. Coincidence? Or a quiet continuation of divine heritage? Now let's move to the other side of the lineage, the Chandra Vamsha, or the Lunar dynasty. This one began with Atri Rishi, whose son was none other than the moon god, Chandra. From Chandra came Buddha, not the Buddha, but the deity Mercury, who married Aila, the daughter of Vivasvata Manu. Their son, Pururava, was the first king of the lunar line. This family tree reads like a who's who of Indian mythology. From Nahusha, the mortal who became king of heaven, to Yayadi, who traded youth with his sons, to Puru, the founder of the Porus, and finally to Kuru, whose descendants became the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Yes, you heard that right. The entire story of the Mahabharata revolves around the descendants of the moon god. Krishna himself, though born of the Yadav clan, was part of the Chandra Vamsha. So we have two divine dynasties, one solar, one lunar, intersecting through marriage, war, and destiny. And when Rama's Surya Vamsha met Krishna's Chandra Vamsha during the ages of the Dvapara and Treta, it was as if the sun and moon themselves stood face to face. But where did these lineages go after the epics ended? The great wars were over. Kingdoms fell. Yet the Puranas and ancient copper plate inscriptions suggest that both lineages survived, spreading across the subcontinent, sometimes quietly, sometimes proudly. The Suryavanshis are said to have ruled parts of North India, the Rajputs of Muir, the Rathors of Marwar, and even Nepal's Shah dynasty, who claim direct descent from Lord Rama. That means the modern kings of Nepal, up until the monarchy was abolished in 2008, considered themselves part of the solar dynasty of Ayodhya. Meanwhile, the Chandravanshis, the lunar descendants, spread eastward. From the Yadavas of Mathura, the Hayayas of the Narmada region, to dynasties like the Pandavas heirs in Hastinapura, and later, rulers in Orissa and Bengal. Traces of their bloodline remain woven into history. Even in medieval records, you'll find titles like Chandravanshi Raju and Yaduvanshi, each proudly claiming ancestry from the moon line. Some Yadav communities in modern India still trace their family trees all the way back to Krishna himself. It sounds impossible, but there's evidence that royal priests and historians kept detailed genealogical scrolls called Vamsha. Some of these documents have been found in Rajasthan, Nepal, and Varanasi, listing hundreds of generations without gaps. Could these be the missing links that connect our history to our mythology? And then comes the most fascinating twist, the merging of the two divine lines. After the Mahabharata war, descendants of the Pandavas are said to have migrated south and east, founding new kingdoms. Over centuries, marriages between solar and lunar descendants blurred the boundaries. By the time of the Gupta Empire, which some scholars also associate with the solar line, the divine genealogies had become part of India's political identity. Even Emperor Ashoka, whose lineage traced back to the Mauryas, claimed to belong to the Ikshvaku family, connecting himself to Rama's ancestors. It wasn't just pride, it was legitimacy. To rule India, kings needed divine roots. Now imagine this. What if these lines never really broke? What if, buried in forgotten temples or preserved in dusty scrolls, the record of these divine descendants still exists? Some royal families still maintain gotras, family lineages that stretch back thousands of years. Many of them quietly claim, "We are Suryavanshi." Others say, "We are Chandravanshi." It's no longer about kingdoms or crowns. It's about bloodlines that refuse to fade. When you trace them back far enough, through centuries of history, through wars and migrations, through myths that became memories, all paths seem to lead to the same truth, that the blood of gods once ran through the veins of men. And maybe it still does. Somewhere, perhaps unnoticed, living normal lives, there may be people whose ancestors once ruled Ayodhya beside Rama, or fought beside Krishna on the plains of Kurukshetra. People whose blood still carries the memory of sunlight and moonlight, the twin forces that shaped the destiny of Bharat itself. Because if these dynasties truly began with gods, then they never really ended. They just changed form. The empires fell, the temples eroded, but the bloodline, it lived on, not in palaces, but in people. And that's perhaps the greatest mystery of all, that even today, the descendants of the sun and the moon might still walk among us.